Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you isn't theory. It's not motivation wrapped in pretty words. This is the raw, unfiltered truth about what's happening to you right now while everyone else is sleeping on your potential. There's a shift occurring, silent but massive, and you're at the center of it, whether you realize it or not. The people who doubted you, the ones who said you'd never make it, the voices that told you to play it safe and stay small, they're watching now, and what they're seeing is making them deeply uncomfortable. Something changed, something fundamental, something they can't quite put their finger on, but they feel it every time your name comes up in conversation, every time they scroll past your profile, every time they hear about your progress through mutual connections. Right now, in this moment, I need you to do something. Tap that screen, leave a comment, any word that resonates with what you're feeling, and hit subscribe, because what we're building here isn't just a channel. It's a movement of people who refuse to stay down, who transform pain into power. And if that's you, then you belong here with us. See, they thought they knew your limits. They had you categorized, filed away, archived as someone who would always be predictable, controllable, manageable. But something happened that they didn't account for. You went silent. You disappeared from their radar, and in that silence, in that absence, you became something they have no framework to understand. While they were busy talking about you, dissecting your past, predicting your failure, you were in the shadows doing the one thing that terrifies mediocre people: evolving. You were shedding skin, burning bridges, rebuilding foundations, and becoming someone who doesn't fit into the boxes they built for you anymore. Every setback they celebrated, every moment they thought you were broken, every time they assumed you'd come crawling back seeking validation or closure or some pathetic form of acceptance, you were actually gathering strength, storing energy, preparing for a comeback they never saw coming. The beautiful irony is that their doubt became your fuel, their mockery became your motivation, their abandonment became your freedom. They gave you the greatest gift without even knowing it. They released you from the burden of caring what small minds think about big dreams. They cut you loose, thinking you'd drown. But what they didn't realize is that you already knew how to swim. You just needed them to stop weighing you down. And here's where it gets interesting. While you were transforming in private, building yourself piece by piece, healing wounds they didn't even know they caused, they were stuck, frozen in the same patterns, repeating the same cycles, wondering why their lives feel so empty. They check your progress like it's their daily news, searching for signs that you've fallen, hoping to see you struggling, needing to confirm that leaving you behind was the right choice. But what they find instead keeps them awake at night, you thriving, you growing, you becoming more powerful in your silence than they ever were with all their noise. The thing about true transformation is that it doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't require witnesses or applause or validation from people who wouldn't recognize greatness if it was standing right in front of them. You changed because you had to, because staying the same would have killed something essential inside you, because the pain of remaining broken became greater than the pain of rebuilding yourself from nothing. And that choice, that decision to save yourself when no one else would, that's what separates you from everyone who's still waiting for someone else to rescue them. You became your own hero, your own savior, your own reason to keep going when every logical part of your brain was screaming at you to give up. Now they're starting to notice. Whispers in group chats, screenshots being shared, conversations happening about how different you seem, how untouchable you've become, how the person they thought they knew has been replaced by someone they can't quite figure out. They're analyzing your moves, trying to decode your strategy, searching for the secret to your transformation like it's some formula they can copy. But here's what they'll never understand. You didn't follow a formula. You didn't have a strategy. You simply decided that their opinion of you was no longer your concern, and that liberation changed everything. Think about the irony. The people who said you needed them, who made you believe you were nothing without their approval, their presence, their validation. Those same people are now obsessed with understanding how you became so complete without them. They're comparing everyone new to you, measuring every connection against what they lost, realizing too late that they had access to something rare and they destroyed it through ignorance, ego, and the arrogant assumption that you'd always be available, always be waiting, always be there when they decided you were worth their time again. They took you for granted like you were a subscription they could pause and resume whenever convenient. But you canceled the entire service. But you learned something they still haven't grasped, that your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth, that walking away from people who drain you isn't weakness, it's self-preservation, that choosing solitude over toxic company isn't loneliness, it's peace. You discovered that the most powerful position you can take is complete indifference to those who took you for granted, not anger, not revenge, not bitterness, just absolute zero interest in being part of their story anymore. You didn't block them out of rage, you forgot them out of growth. And that organic dismissal, that natural fade, it cuts deeper than any confrontation ever could. Every boundary you set without explanation, every message you left unread, every invitation you declined, every moment you chose yourself over their expectations. They documented it. They discussed it. They tried to find the pattern, the weakness, the crack they could exploit to pull you back into their orbit. And what did they discover? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because you weren't playing games. You weren't following some strategy to make them jealous or prove a point. You were genuinely building a life they're not invited to witness. You weren't performing recovery, you were actually recovering. And that authenticity is something they can see but never touch. The greatest power move isn't revenge. It's not exposing them. It's not proving them wrong. It's becoming so focused on your own growth that they become irrelevant. Background noise in a story where they used to be main characters. You didn't demote them out of spite. You outgrew them through evolution. And that natural progression, that organic transcendence, it's something they can observe but never undo. The door didn't slam shut. It simply closed quietly, permanently, while you walk toward a future they'll never be part of. They're standing outside that closed door wondering what happened while you're 3 cities away building a kingdom they don't even know exists. Here's what keeps them up at night. The realization that you're not coming back, not because you're holding a grudge, not because you're being petty or playing hard to get, but because you genuinely don't need what they offer anymore. You found something they're still searching for, contentment in your own company, power in your own presence, peace in your own space. You became the thing they fear most. Someone who doesn't need them, doesn't miss them, doesn't even think about them anymore. You're not angry, you're not bitter, you're just busy. Busy building a life so full that their absence doesn't even register as a loss. And while they're refreshing your social media, analyzing your posts, trying to read between the lines of your captions, searching for hidden messages meant for them, you're out here living completely unaware that you still occupy so much space in their minds. That's the ultimate role reversal. You're free while they're imprisoned by the memory of who you were and the reality of who you've become. They're the ones stuck in the past now, replaying moments, wondering what if, analyzing where it went wrong, while you're creating a present they can't access and a future they'll only hear about through others. The beautiful part about all this, the part that makes your journey so powerful, is that you didn't do any of this for them. You did it for yourself. Every change, every improvement, every level up, it wasn't to prove them wrong or make them regret losing you. It was because you decided you deserved better than the version of yourself they knew. You weren't trying to become impressive, you were trying to become authentic. And that authenticity, that genuine transformation, it created a presence so magnetic that even people who wanted to forget you can't stop checking to see what you're doing. You became unforgettable, not by trying to be remembered, but by becoming someone worth remembering. Let's talk about what really happened during your silence. During those months or years when you went dark and they thought you were defeated. You weren't defeated. You were in the laboratory of your own mind, conducting experiments on yourself, testing limits, breaking old patterns, building new ones. You were learning who you are without their influence, without their opinions shaping your choices, without their expectations limiting your potential. You met yourself for the first time, the real you, the one that was buried under years of trying to fit into molds that were never designed for someone of your shape. During that time, something crucial happened that they'll never understand. You stopped performing. You stopped posting for validation. You stopped moving for applause. You stopped existing for an audience that never truly appreciated the show. And in that withdrawal from performance, you found something most people spend their entire lives searching for: genuine self-acceptance. Not the kind you post about with inspirational quotes, but the kind that lets you sleep peacefully at night, knowing you're exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do, becoming exactly who you need to become. They mistake your peace for arrogance, your confidence for cockiness, your self-assurance for superiority. But what they're actually seeing is someone who stopped seeking external validation and started trusting internal guidance. You don't need crowds to confirm your worth anymore. You don't need likes to feel valued. You don't need their approval to know you're on the right path. That independence, that self-sufficiency, it's threatening to people who still measure their value by other people's opinions. Here's something they'll never admit, but you need to hear. Every time they talk about you, every time your name comes up, there's a tone in their voice that wasn't there before. It's not hatred. It's not even dislike. It's something more complex. It's a mixture of respect and fear, admiration and resentment, curiosity and frustration. They can't figure out how you did it, how you went from broken to unbreakable, from lost to unstoppable, from their victim to their ghost. The power dynamic shifted so completely that they can't even hate you properly anymore, because deep down, they know you're operating on a level they haven't reached yet. Think about what your transformation represents to them. It's living proof that their narrative about you was wrong. Every prediction they made, every limitation they placed on you, every ceiling they said you couldn't break through, you shattered all of it without even acknowledging they existed. You didn't prove them wrong through arguments or explanations. You proved them wrong by living your truth so loudly that their lies couldn't compete. Your existence became the rebuttal. Your progress became the evidence. Your peace became the verdict. And now they're caught in this weird position where they can't celebrate your success because it contradicts everything they said about you, but they can't deny it either because the proof is undeniable. So they're stuck in this limbo, watching you rise while they're frozen in place, wanting to reach out but knowing they burned that bridge, wanting to be part of your story but realizing they wrote themselves out of it. The regret is eating them alive, but pride won't let them admit it, so they suffer in silence while you thrive in peace. So where do you go from here? Forward, always forward, never back. You don't owe them updates, explanations, closure, or proof that you've changed. You don't need to announce your growth or display your healing or perform your peace for an audience that didn't earn the right to witness your transformation. You simply continue building, growing, evolving, becoming more of who you're meant to be with every choice you make, every boundary you maintain, every moment you choose yourself without apology or explanation. Let them wonder, let them guess, Let them create theories and have discussions and try to figure out the secret to your power. The secret is simple, but they'll never accept it. You stopped caring about their opinion. You stopped seeking their validation. You stopped playing the game they're still trapped in. You became free by releasing the need to be understood by people who never took the time to truly know you. That freedom, that liberation, it's what they see in you now, and it's what they'll never achieve as long as they're still trying to control narratives, manipulate perceptions, and maintain relevance in lives that have moved on without them. Your silence speaks louder than their words ever could. Your absence creates more impact than their presence ever did. Your growth tells a story their stagnation can never compete with. You're not better than them. You're just free from them. And that freedom radiates in ways that make people take notice, ask questions, want to understand how you did it. But you don't owe anyone your formula. You don't have to explain your process. You simply keep moving forward, knowing that the best revenge is no revenge at all. It's just living so well that you forget they exist while they're still writing chapters about you in their story. This is your time. This is your moment. This is where everything you've been through starts to make sense. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss taught you resilience. Every moment of pain taught you that you're stronger than anything trying to break you. You're not the same person they knew. You're not even the person you were yesterday. You're constantly evolving, perpetually growing, forever becoming more of who you were always meant to be. The caterpillar doesn't explain itself to the cocoon. It just transforms and flies away. And that's exactly what you did. So keep walking, keep building, keep choosing yourself with the same ruthless clarity that made them realize they lost something irreplaceable. Don't look back to see if they're watching. Don't slow down to let them catch up. Don't dim your light to make them comfortable. Shine brighter, rise higher. Become so undeniably powerful that years from now, they'll still be telling stories about the one who got away, the one who saw through them, the one who chose themselves and never looked back. Be the legend in their story while they're barely a footnote in yours. You're not running from them. You're running toward yourself. And that journey, that transformation, that's the story worth telling. The chapter where they existed. It's closed, finished, archived as a lesson learned, and a version of yourself you had to leave behind to become who you are now. They're not villains in your story anymore. They're just extras who had brief speaking roles before you realized you were the only main character that mattered. This is your movie, your narrative, your masterpiece, and you're the writer, director, and star. This is where you win. Not by fighting, not by proving, not by getting even, but by becoming so completely absorbed in your own growth that their existence becomes a distant memory you occasionally remember with indifference. You're free, truly free, and that freedom is something they'll spend years trying to achieve while you're already living it, breathing it, embodying it in every choice you make. Freedom isn't just the absence of chains, it's the presence of purpose, and you found yours the moment you stopped looking for it in their approval. Now go build that life they'll never be part of. Create that future they'll only hear about through whispers. Become that person they'll reference when they're trying to explain to someone new what real transformation looks like. You're the evidence that people really do change, really do heal, really do become unreachable, not through cruelty but through growth. That's your legacy, that's your power, that's your truth, and nothing they say or do can ever take that away from you. You're the walking testimony that rock bottom can be a foundation, that darkness can be a canvas, that pain can be a teacher, and that the person who emerges from the fire is always stronger than the flames that tried to consume them.